And it's time for our wrap-up session. And so let's talk about what we did today and then what we're going to do tomorrow. So today we had the two cyber infrastructure landscape talks. And I want to throw a special thank you to Melissa for being flexible, because we had another speaker scheduled in the afternoon, the late afternoon time slot. And then they had to switch because of a family emergency. And so Melissa volunteered to swap time slots, and that was very generous of her. I know people arrange their schedules and everybody's very busy. So I really appreciate that she did that. But I want to thank both Melissa and Greta for pulling together those talks. I think as a result of the work that Melissa and Greta did today, I think we all have a much better feel for what's out there and where we fit in to the cyber infrastructure world and the cyber infrastructure professional world. Both of those, I think, are really important considerations. And because of the presentations that they provided us, I think we're in a much better position to understand our role and the context that we're operating in. And I very much want to thank Dirk and Wendy, because their session on how to do an intake interview, including, and this grew out of an idea that Kim Thomas provided a couple of years ago. She said, well, she had done the intake interview practicum, which we're doing tomorrow morning. She had done the intake interview practicum the previous year, and she felt a little bit at sea because she'd had no training, didn't really have a lot of feel for what an intake interview, how that should operate. And so we thought, let's put together a training session, and Dirk volunteered for that. And just he has done an absolutely brilliant job. The work that he did with his colleague Justin to put those videos together is just fantastic. And Wendy's participation has been really valuable there. So we really appreciated the work that they've done to make this such a success and to prepare everybody for the intake interview practicum tomorrow. And then I was very excited to have an opportunity to talk about the hardware side of things, because that's not something that I usually get a chance to talk about, but I really do believe very passionately that much of what we're doing, the success of it, is driven by helping the researchers to understand the systems that they're running on. My experience has been that researchers have tremendous difficulty understanding the environment that they're operating within until they've gone on a tour and physically walked around inside of the cluster supercomputer. And when I give a tour, I very intentionally walk them down a cold aisle so they feel the experience of being inside the supercomputer. And that just takes 2 minutes. As part of that tour. Tour is typically going to be an hour, but that's just going to take about 2 minutes. But it's a visceral experience, and people who come out of the tours do understand supercomputing. And the people who have not taken the tour, in my experience, they're missing something crucial in their understanding of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what they're doing it inside of. And that's been really, really crucial. I want to take a minute and talk about what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I really should turn on the screen here and just show you what we've got coming up here tomorrow. So in the morning, Dirk is returning to do another Cyber Ambassador session for us. And he and I and Dana Brunson, who, among other things, we are the three PIs of the SIFTED program. We've worked together to identify the right components to incorporate into the virtual residency and into SIFTED to make a big impact for all y'all as researcher-facing CI professionals. So I'm very excited about that. Then in the mid-morning, Armand Pazuki from Purdue is going to do a quick overview of the intake interview process. And then we're going to go right in and we're going to do intake interviews with real live researchers. I have about a dozen researchers lined up. Also tomorrow is Sifted's inaugural badging. We've never done the badging before. This is going to be the very first time. So imagine this is the pilot study of the pilot study. This is our first opportunity, first time we've taken this out of the box. We're very excited. And so there will be Sifted badge judges in the breakout rooms while you are doing intake interviews with the real live researchers. And so many of you, I'm suspecting not all, but many of you will earn the very first crop of Sifted badges ever. And it will cost you zero. It will cost you nothing at all. We're very excited about that. And then in the afternoon, we have 2 technical sessions that we're tremendously excited about. One, we've got Stephen Wheat from Oral Roberts University and Prentice Bisbal from Princeton Plasma Physics Lab. And Stephen, before he was at Oral Roberts, he spent much of his professional career leading HPC at Intel and at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. And before that, he was at one of the Department of Energy labs, I think Sandia, although I'm not sure I remember. He might have been Los Alamos, can't remember. And he was part of a team that won the Gordon Bell Prize, which is the supercomputing equivalent of the Nobel Prize. It's the Nobel Prize for supercomputing. Tremendous team, and they're going to be talking about how to deploy community codes for your researchers. Some of your researchers are perfectly capable of deploying those codes on their own. Many of them are not. And so we advise you to learn how to help them, and in some cases, how to do it for them. And then Prasad Madhumaj from Corning, he used to be a facilitator at Florida State, and before that was a grad student here at OU. He'll be talking about debugging, profiling, tuning. He asked me to cut scientific libraries from the title because he said it was only a small number of slides at the end. And I'm going to do that for him, but I do kind of think they're an important topic on their own. But so he'll be talking about how to make code better, essentially. And so that's our day that we've got lined up for you tomorrow. We're very excited about this, and we look forward to all y'all having an opportunity to learn all of these topics. These are core topics for understanding how to help researchers use research computing to make their research bigger and better. Are there questions at this point? So did we also walk them down the hot aisle? Yeah, we do. We actually spend most of our time in the hot aisle. The reason we don't spend most of our time in the cold aisle is it's so much louder there. Anybody got any questions? Yes, even in the hot aisle, I tear my throat out from the shouting. All right, well, thank you, everybody. And we're looking forward to seeing you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Mountain, 7 a.m. Pacific. And if you're spread out around the globe, I imagine you've already calculated what time of day you need to log in. We look forward to seeing you wherever you are. And we're going to have a grand time tomorrow and learn more exciting stuff. So thank you all, and we'll see you in the morning. Have a great night.